Hello bros, I'm back to Specific Zero, Profile Production, and next part, Sakura Forest Girls. I actually started at this 3 o'clock on the day. I woke up like 10 minutes ago. So, starting off this stream pretty late in the day, but I should be able to finish everything today without any problems. Let's jump in where we left off. I am tuneless, did it to myself as I polish my spear. I work the cloth up and down it meditatively until it shines. My parents are warriors and they guard our village from enemy attacks. My father showed me how to wield a spear from an early age and how best to take care of it. I had a weapon by my side since I was old enough to hold one. The weathered wood feels comforting in my palm and it fits neatly against my calluses. This spear was a gift for my 18th birthday and I had it for 3 years. I used it so much it feels almost like a part of my own body. I can manipulate it just as easily as I can bend my arm or my leg, and with even more grace. I'm not the most coordinated of people, but when I have a spear in my hands I become a true warrior. My footsteps become soft, almost inaudible, and I regulate my breathing to match. I stalk through the undergrowth soundlessly, and when I see a tasty morsel I don't hesitate to strike. It doesn't matter how cute my quarry is, whether it is a rabbit or a fox or a deer. If it can be skinned and eaten, I pursue it. The world is harsh and striking first is one of my way to ensure one's survival. I think rabbit, foxes and deer are pretty cute, but they are also delicious. It'd be stupid to turn food down on account of its long ears, or its bushy tail, or its dappled pelt. I've been hunting so often I'm immune to the sight of blood, but Ayana isn't. She feels faint at the sight of blood and she doesn't have the stamina to trek through the forest in search of easy prey. Coco and I took her hunting a few times when we were younger, and Ayana's best. She said she wanted to learn how to be self-sufficient in case she ever had to fend for herself. I thought it a noble goal, but things didn't really pan out. She froze up when confronted with a deer, and she couldn't shoot an arrow from a quiver to save her life. Even if that deer had been a wolf, cold-hearted and malevolent. Well, I can't pronounce that word right now. She wouldn't have been able to kill it. Ayana simply isn't cut out for hunting. She doesn't have the knack. She wasn't raised by warriors like myself or hunters like Coco. Ayana parents are shamans. They can create potions and tinctures to cure various illnesses, and sometimes they have prophetic dreams. Their knowledge was widely dependent upon in my village, but it was also feared. People mistrusted Ayana's mother in particular and thought of her as a witch. Their mistrust only mounted when Ayana was born with her shock of ivory hair. They thought of her unusual hair a sign that demon was somehow involved in her conception, and that Ayana herself had demon's blood running through her veins. It's also nonsense, of course. Ayana can't even bring herself to spill deer's blood. How in the world would she ever bring herself to hurt a human? People aren't always sensible, though not when the fear controls them. They already had their doubts about Ayana's family, and Ayana's white hair confirmed them. None of the village I shouldn't play with Diana. They were warned by the parents to keep away lest they curse them. Coco and I were the only ones who interacted with her. In time, we soon became the best of friends. We vowed we would always stay together no matter what. But now Coco has gone. I have no idea where she could be, or where we should begin to look. It's all a bit daunting, but I'm not about to give up now. Ayana was always the closest to Coco. They were the best of friends, while I was slightly on the periphery of their relationship. I was always too busy learning how to hunt to spend much time with them. Coco's disposition is milder than mine, and she and Ayana have more in common. Maybe it's natural they get on so well, but the thought is a bit painful. It doesn't do to be jealous of Coco, though. I can't let my own petty feelings get the better of me. Right, that should just about do it. I finished wiping down the tip of my spear, then look to the forest. I hope I can find something yummy. All the reminiscing has made me hungry. There's no point in thinking about the past. I won't find Coco there. Well, she is technically there, but not the one you're looking for. I should instead focus on the future. Life is like a river, and it doesn't run backwards. It would actually be fun to see that. A river that runs backwards. I should be old enough to not to let my childhood nostalgia get the better of me. I can see a few paces away, sniffing among the undergrowth. It's a cute rabbit with a soft pelt and long floppy ears. Its nose twitches as it sniffs at the few dandelion leaves, and its tail quivers in anticipation. It doesn't know that I'm there, watching from the shadows. I grip the shaft of my spear, then weathered wood digs into my palm, neatly fitting it into all the grooves made through my years of training. I've hunted hundreds, maybe thousands of rabbits just like this in my time. It doesn't matter to me one bit how cute they are. All I care about is what they taste like when they've been skinned and cooked. Perhaps this sounds cruel, but my parents taught me from youth that this was part of life. It's a cycle. The strong eat the weak, and when the strong become weak themselves, the two are picked off. I'm just trying to survive, and there's no shame in it. Other animals I know would hesitate to gouge my throat with their claws. I mean, as far as I know, in older times, you eat from the forest your entire life, and when you die, the forest shall eat from you. That's what I know. Why should I offer a courtesy they would not offer me? I make not sound as I observe my prey, concealed in the bushes, and I cannot see me. It doesn't know I'm here. That will prove to be a fatal mistake. A rabbit glances about, its eyes flicking left and right, but it can't see anything. Believing itself to be alone, it dips its head and begins to chew on the dandelion leaves, sniffling in excitement all the while. It must have been hungry. Unfortunately, I'm hungry too. I hope the rabbit enjoying its meal, because this will be the last one it eats. I adjust my grip on my spear, all the while eyeing the rabbit. I take a stock of its black eyes and its fluffy ears, its twitching tail. It's not so absurd in its meal. It's now so absorbed in its meal, I doubt it will be able to get away. Animals always let their guards down when they're eating something delicious. Humans are no exception to this rule. They grow complacent with dulls of reaction times. It's always best to go after prey when they're eating or drinking. That's another lesson my parents taught me. I took the advice to heart and bolstered it over the years with practical experience. I regard hunting as I do polishing the tip of my spear. It's very important to hunt regularly, else I'll get rusty. As a warrior, it's important that I hone my skills. Well, better to take a rabbit, because a deer, it's a lot of meat on a deer, and you have to prepare all, and it means you probably won't be able to move on for a day, but a rabbit is small. It's enough for a couple of people to eat, and you can move on whenever you like. I peer at the rabbit, eyes narrowed. It looks ensconced in its task, its jaws moving up and down. It's still chewing, swallowing. It doesn't suspect a thing. I rise up on my haunches, still clutching my spear, and point the tip towards my quarry's hide. I breathe in shallowly, carefully not to disturb it. Then I bounce. The rabbit doesn't stand a chance. It tastes so good. Its meat is so tender and juicy. You're such a good cook, Ayana. Oh no, I'm nothing special. The rabbit was prepared very simply. If I had some herbs or spices to hand, I am sure I could make something more flavorful. As it is, I'm afraid the meal is somewhat bland. No, it's not. There's no way. I swallow a mouthful of succulent meat still warm from the fire, then give my reticent companion a sunny smile. None of your cooking is bland, Ayana. You're not giving yourself enough credit. The rabbit was prepared simply, yeah, but sometimes simple is better. I can really taste how fresh this rabbit is. I dig into my rabbit leg with renewed vigor. Ayana skinned it and cooked it over an open flame, and the meat left clinging to the bone is simply delicious. Juice trickles down my chin, which I pause to wipe away with the back of my hand. Oops. The food is good, but it's not easy to eat cleanly. I'm making quite a mess. Ayana, by contrast, looks prim and proper. She eats with delicious mouthfuls, and her chin is devoid of uses. That's one of many differences between Ayana and I. She always been one to mind her manners, while at least I'm not. I've never been all that ladylike. I wonder if that comes from having a pair of hunters for my parents. They never really taught me how to style my hair or how to eat nicely. Unlike most of the girls back in our village, I don't even know how to weave. The only thing I can really do is hunt, but at least I can do this with some degree of competency. Fortunately, Ayana is used to my foible. She doesn't talk at me as Coco sometimes. Instead, she smiles. You look like you're enjoying yourself. Am I ever? I wish I caught another rabbit. Now it's this one's so good. Should you really eat all that meat? You bet. I'm a growing girl. Haha. Well, that depends on the size of the rabbit. I've seen rabbits that, well, they're big. Let's see. Well, I don't really know what to compare it to. Well, I've seen rabbits that are nearly as big as the wheel of a car. So, it depends on the size of the rabbit, really. You're 21. I don't know if you have that much growing left to do. Maybe not height-wise, but I could do with getting a bit more muscular. It makes hunting even easier. I think you already plenty muscle. Ayana brow cresses with concern. And I don't think that it's a good thing to eat too much meat. You might get indigestion. Maybe. It's a good thing you are here to keep me in line, Ayana. I can be a little wild on my own. I don't really know my own limits. You've always been fearless. I find it admirable quality. You do what you want whenever you want without worrying. As for me, I am a sight. I've always been a coward. I don't know if pacing yourself while eating all that cowardly. I shuffle close to Diana, both of us cross-legged upon the grass ground, and give her a companionable nudge with my elbow. And you're totally wrong. You're not a coward, not at all. You're much stronger than you give yourself credit for. I would like to believe that, but nothing. Cheer up, alright? There's no time to doubt yourself. The witch is supposed to live up on those cliffs. She is spitting distance, more or less. We only gotta go a little further. Anna looks at me in silence for a few moments, bemused. Then she smiles. You're quite right. I should be more optimistic. We have come very far together, despite my shortcomings. Now we have only a little way to go. I'm sure if I am with you, I can do it. And I'm sure you can too. Now let's go look for that witch. There's no way she'd be able to turn us away. Who can say no to a pair of adorable girls like us? Our food consumed, Diana head out into the forest together. It's warm, pleasant kind of day, and I thought the leafy foliage is dense. It doesn't out all the sunlight. A few warm rays spill through the leaves, dappling the ground. The smell of soil is rich in the air, and the breeze catches my ponytail, so it swishes. She tracks off the trees are dotted with moss and little white flowers, and birds perch upon the gnarled branches. It's all very pretty. If Diana and I hadn't done so much walking the last couple of months, this would feel almost like a vacation. As if it is, however, I can bring myself to relax. I have a lot on my mind. It looks like we have a bit of trek ahead of us. I could see the cliffs from the ruined village when Ayana and I sat down to eat our breakfast, but now we're in the thick of the wood. The cliffs have disappeared. Our surroundings are shrouded by all the trees taller than totems that dominate the landscape, blotting out everything. The witch home didn't look so far away from the village, but we've been walking a while now, and we haven't made much progress. Are you alright, Diana? You're getting tired, are you? I'm alright. I can keep going a bit longer. Diana reassures me with a small smile. It's thinner than a piece of thread and even more tremulous. Are you sure? Quite sure. Well, alright. I continue our walk, arms behind my head. Ayana not usually stubborn, but she can be on rare occasion, typically when Coco is involved. At this point, I'm used to it. It's actually pretty cute. I think it's cute. I smile both arms behind my head as we continue our walk. Anna's pretty cute when she gets stubborn like this. She's quite cute in general, actually. I really don't understand why people of our village took against her so. How could anybody mistrust her with those big blue eyes of hers? and all the lovely white hair. Thinking about it makes me kind of mad, so I try to push it out from my mind. I try to focus instead on the winding forest path in front of me. Time passes, I'm not sure how long we've been walking, but the cliffs don't seem any closer than they were when they first set off. In fact, I think we might even be even further away. Are we walking in the right direction? I'm beginning to doubt myself, but it's not like there's anybody I can ask for help. The forest is lush and verdant. The trees are filled with fruit and there's no shortage of animals to hunt in the undergrowth. But the people have all gone. The forest is completely deserted save for the animals. That's what I thought at least, but... Goodness me, I didn't expect to see anybody out here, least of all two cute young girls. My whole body tenses. I point the tip of my spear at the unexpected interloper. My fingers wound tight about this wooden shaft. It seems the forest isn't as empty as I thought. A woman has just stepped out from among the foliage. Her hair is green as the leaves on the trees about us, and she is wearing a dress lined with animal fur. She looks about the same age as Ayana and I, though she might be a few years older. Her face is sweet, and her eyes are soft, lined with long eyelashes. She doesn't look like much of a threat, but she is appeared so suddenly, so unexpectedly, it's put me on edge. Who are you, and what are you doing here? State your business. Whoa, hold up there, friend. I think you got the wrong idea. I don't want to hurt you. I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in violence. The woman holds both hands up to her face as I thought in self-defense. Not that her hands would offer much protection against the pointed tip of my spear. As far as I can tell from doing a quick scan of her person, she isn't in possession of any weapons. It doesn't seem like you have a weapon, no. I frown. But you must have some means of protecting yourself, or you wouldn't be wandering around the woods. Are you a witch? No. I'm nothing half so special as that. I do have a few special trinkets in my possession that can help me in a pinch, but I didn't enchant them myself. They just kind of came into my possession. The woman grins. My name is Mika, and I'm nothing but a humble merchant. I've been traveling for a long time, looking for interesting wares to buy and sell. My line of work takes me all across the country. I've seen many different villages and met many different people. But there are always more to see. A merchant, are you? I let my gaze linger on Mika's face. Her smile is bright, and it doesn't sound like she is lying. Alright, I suppose I believe you, for now. Hey! Thank you for trusting me, my brave and pretty warrior girl. What's your name? Where do you come from? Based on those markings of yours, I wager you from a village to the south. That's right. I'm not impressed that she can glean so much simply from my marking. She really must have done a lot of traveling. My name's Yaga. I'm the daughter of two hunters, and this peer of mine is not for show. If you try anything funny, I'll screw you with it. My, I guess you must, I guess you're more than a pretty face. I didn't realize you were so serious. I'm not really. I have to act off so I can look after Ayana. So Ayana, Mika surveys Ayana, her arms linked behind her back. You're a pretty thing. That hair of yours is sleek and smooth, and so pale too. I read you stood a bit out a fair bit in your village, Anna doesn't reply. She seeks shelter wordlessly behind my back, her head bowed. Anna doesn't like talking to strangers. It took a while for her to warm up to Coco and we grew up together. I guess I have to do the talking. Yes, her name is Ayana, and her hair has nothing to do with anything. You can stop staring, that's impolite. Oh yes, of course, where are my manners? I do apologize. Mika giggles. For a woman traveling alone in a dense forest filled with wild animals, she doesn't seem at all phased or perturbed. She's so happy-go-lucky she positively bouncing on her heels. I was just thinking, hell, that's a real rarity. I've been all across the country and I've not seen anything like it. If you let me cut a few locks, I'm sure I fetch a handsome price. It's a collector's piece, to be sure. Ayana holds one hand to her head. Her expression is stricken, like a child who's had a favorite toy stolen from beneath their nose. I scowl on Ayana's behalf, knowing she is too shy to say anything herself. Listen here, Mika. Ayana's hair isn't an important part of her. It's absolutely not for sale. Only I'm allowed to touch it. It belongs to me. Oh God. Ayana tugs at the back of my dress and I demur. Okay, it belongs to her too. Does that mean you're not interested in a trade? Can't I tempt you? I have a lot of rare exotic items on my possession from all across the land. Absolutely not. I stamped a foot on the ground for emphasis. This will get my point across. I would say we might have something else to trade, but but it's our choice what to trade and what to not. Mika seems a sort of thick-headed. I don't understand why you're traveling around these parts with all these wares either. Don't you know the nearest village is abandoned? There's nobody around to buy from you or trade with you. You're wasting your time. Oh yes, I know that. I don't always travel to trade. I was hoping to rifle through the abandoned village to see if I could find anything worth taking. You guys to correct yourself? Worth reappropriating. There's an eyebrow unimpressed. So you want to steal from all these people and sell on their stuff? Hey, don't say it like that. It made me sound like I'm doing something bad. Well, the village is abandoned, and it would technically be a waste letting things lay around that aren't being used anymore. If they can be repurposed for someone else, it's better to do that. Otherwise, it's just a waste, technically. If that's what it sounds like, maybe you're doing something bad. No, I'm not. The village is abandoned, like you said. I doubt my body will be coming back to claim their stuff, and anything that's been left lying around is fair game. I'm actually being very resourceful by taking all this old unwanted tat and giving it to a new lease of life. I clean up all the pretty trinkets I find, and my customers will be really happy to get new tableware and purses and pretty necklaces. Sure. Well, don't let Ayana and I keep you. If you are headed for the village, it's over there. I give away the gesture through the trees. I would say also if she knows the direction to the cliffside so we can actually get there. Will you really be alright on your own though? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm more than capable of taking care of myself. I'm used to traveling alone, and I have my enchanted trinkets to keep me safe. I know how to use them. Mika smiles bashfully. Some of them at least. Only some? Yeah, haha. Just the other day I accidentally set myself on fire when I was handling an enchanted anklet, but it was only a little fire. I put it out easily enough, but I stank of smoke for the rest of the day. Vika laughs jubilantly as though she didn't have a brush with death. Trade, it is such a chaotic ending. I'm starting to get a headache. Does she have no common sense? Either she is very, very powerful or very, very stupid. Personally, I'm leaning towards the latter. I can't let myself get hurt in any case. I have a partner back home waiting for me. I hate to leave her all on her own. You have a partner? Actually, we actually have some questions. You could ask her if she actually seen Coco. You have a partner? Yes, I do. She is totally adorable and I love her very much. She wanted to come with me on my trials, but I told her no. It was too dangerous. I hate for her to get hurt. She is everything to me. That's nice. Anna smiles gently, her hands are linked together at her front. I thought you have somebody waiting for you who cares about you. Same here. I'm pretty lucky if I do say so myself. I like going on adventures, who doesn't? But going back home's great too, 'cause I know she'll be there waiting for me. She eased me onto the couch and she say in the sweet voice of hers, "How was your journey, Mika? Are you tired? Would you like a bath or something to eat? Or would you instead like to lie with me?" Yeah. Mika squeezed both her hands, clapped on her cheeks, which are rapidly beginning to turn red. Thinking about her makes my heart skip a beat. She's so lovely, words can't do her justice. I want to make a lot of money on this trip so I can treat her like the princess she is. I'm going to spoil her. Her rotten on my name isn't Mika. Right. I frown. I know Mika for less than 10 minutes, but I'm already tired of her company. It's always uncomfortable when somebody boasts about their significant other, particularly in the terms this glowing. Admittedly, I'm a bit curious about Mika's exact relationship with this girl. But I'm not curious enough that I want to invite her to talk even more. Well, it was nice meeting you, but Ayana and I are busy. We can't afford to stand here chatting. We have somebody we need to visit. Really? And they live all the way out here? Mika blinks intrigued. What do you mean? Well, I pause. I'm at a storm ahead, leaving Mika behind us, but I'm now beginning to wonder. Could she help us? She's been traveling and merchant, and she has seen far more of the world than I. She must know something about the witch and where to find her. We're looking for a witch. A witch? Mika ponders, one hand beneath her chin. She looks lost in thought for a few moments until realization dawns. Oh, you must mean Maya. Maya? Is her name? Sure is. Mika nods enthusiastically. I know Maya. I just went to see her myself actually. She put me up for the night and she bought a few of my trinkets. She a valued customer of mine. She acts kind of creepy. Her laugh always sends a shiver down my spine, but she isn't a bad person. I think you know where Maya lives then. That I do. Her house is on top of this big cliff. It's quite a climb, but you should be able to make it there by midday if you press on. You just need to keep walking straight, then turn right the lake. The cliffs are so huge you can't miss them. So we are heading in the right direction. That's a relief. Perhaps my Mika isn't so useless after all. Thank you. How about my head? Now Ayana and I really should be on our way. I'd like to meet Maya as soon as possible. I turn ready to leave, but Mika calls back with an excusable. Hey, wait a second. There's something I want to give you first. What? Mickey girls. Just feast your eyes on this. Oh, that's the picture. So that was all I have for Sakura Forest Girls this time. As we like to chat, and see you next time. Bye bye.